welcome to class. I'm Temi. I'm your fashion tutor at TCG Fashions. So today I'll be showing you how to create your circle skirts. Circle skirts are so beautiful. You know, it's very easy to create, but when you're done, especially if you use a nice fabric, nice print, it looks so heavenly. It is so beautiful. But then you need to know that there are several types of circle. We have let me use my pen. We have the quarter circle. We have the quarter circle, we have the half circle, we have the three-quarter circle, then we have the full circle. So these four circles, what differentiates them? How do we know what to do? How do we know how to create each one of them? When you are creating a circle, you know, our mathematics class, you will need to calculate radius. That's 2 pi. The radius, the circumference, the middle parts, however you can understand, you know, that circle. In circle skirts, you need an inner circle and outer circle. So there are times that this inner circle is not full circle, it can be half, but there's an outer circle, you know, which is not also going to be full. So all those differences are the things I want to teach you right now. So if you remember the formula 2 pi, don't worry yourself about the whole calculation. It's okay, let me just say it. That's 2 multiplied by 22 over 7. Eventually it will give you 6.28. This is for the full circle. This is for full circle. Somebody is wondering what is for full circle. This is what you will use to divide your circumference, the circumference of where you want to put that circle into. If it is sleeve, you can divide the elbow circumference. If it is skirt, you can divide the waist circumference by 6.28 to give you that inner circle. Then you derive the outer circle and your full circle is ready. So if this is for the full circle, so how do I get quarter? You simply divide this by 4. When you divide this by 4, you have 1.57. So if I want to then do half, if quarter is 1.57, so half will be 1.57 multiplied by 2. That will give me 3.14. If I want to do 3 over 4, just like the name, 3 out of 4, that's 1.57 multiplied by 3. That will give me 4.71. Then if I want to do the full circle, let's just say 4 over 4. That's 1.57 multiplied by 4, which gives me my 6.28 back. Okay, after all that is said, so what is then the formula for calculating different form of circle? For the quarter, which is, you know, you can call it 90 degrees, you will divide your radius by 1.57. You remember what we said earlier? Okay. For quarter, this is quarter. You are not folding your fabric. No fold. You are not folding your fabric into anything. The fabric will lay like this one. It just lay flat. There is no fold anywhere. Okay. For half circle, that's a 180 degree. Okay. You will divide your radius by 3.14, right? Our calculation from earlier. Yes, I'm correct. So this is actually the formula you need to cram. I only told you all these ones so that you guys will know that you will know I arrived at this. For half circle, you are folding your fabric into 2. Are we together? Don't worry, I will teach you all of this. Then for 3 over 4, which is 270 degree, you are going to be having radius divided by 4.71. In this one, you will fold your fabric into 4. Don't worry, you understand as time goes on. Then for the full circle, which is 360 degrees, you will divide your radius by 6.28. Are we together? So these are the things we'll be doing. So I'll be using a very small value, a miniature pattern value for this, so that my camera can capture everything at a glance. But while you are practicing, please, you have to use your actual measurements. So I'm using waist 8 inches. The waist is 8 inches. In your own case, your own waist can be 28 or 30. Then I'm using length 5. The length is 5 inches. Are we together? So if I'm using waist 8 inches, length 5, and I'm doing a full circle, let me use another paper. I think I've written so much on that already. If I'm using waist, my full circle formula says, can you all see this? Okay, full circle, let me take this away for now. Full circle formula is radius divided by 6.28. Are we together? So, my radius, that is my the waist, the radius where I want to attach the circle. The radius is 8 inches. This is my waist. Waist is 8 divided by 6.28. Okay, so separate, pardon, 8 divided by 6.28. So I have something like 1.27 in part in in circle. I always tell my students to approximate forward. This, if I want to approximate, that means I will have 1.3 inches. It's not really easy to calculate 1.3, but nevertheless we'll find a way around it, or you can leave it at 1.27. The reason being that by the time you cut your radius, especially for full circle, you would have more than 8 at the end of the day. If you have been doing circle skirts, you would understand what I'm saying. And when you cut a full circle, full circle is round. You will see by the time we are done, you will still need to put zipper, because you can't, there's no how you will wear it without a zipper allowance. By the time I open it up, like I said, this will be more than, it will give me more than what I need. So by the time I calculate the excesses, sometimes you can have like 0.5 inch excess or 0.75 inch excess. So if it is 0.75 inch excess, you will be able to use this to fix zipper. I really don't advise you add more than necessary seam allowance, zipper allowance, because if you add too much, you might not be able to control the waist. It is good you have some excesses on the waist. If you are making a circle skirt, you can ease it in, and it allows the the flute of the skirt, there's a way it makes the structure better, especially when you're using nice fabric, that has structure. We are using brocade, you are using which other fabric is that, anything that's not chiffon too is fine anyways, but then I'm talking about classy circle skirt. So for those kind, you don't need so much seam allowance. If the allowance is too much at the waist, you might need to cut it off, and that will affect the overall fit of the garment. So after all that being said, if you would want to add zipper allowance, please don't add more than half. So let me just say 0.5 inch zipper allowance. So that will give me another thing to calculate. So my waist is going to be 8.5 divided by 6.28. Okay, don't add more than half. By the time you practice this, you understand what I'm saying. I'm not just teaching you theory in this class. I'm teaching you things that I've learned after practicing the theories over the years. So 6.28, so that gives me 1.35. Like I said, you approximate, so that gives you less than 1.4 inches. Okay, it's okay. So 1.4 inches. Then the length of the skirt, is 5. It's cut to 5 inches. So to really know the amount of fabric you will be needing, you will need to add this 1.4 to this 5. Okay, so that is 1.4 inches plus 5 inches, which gives me 6.4 inches. So if I'm making a circle, if there be circle, so that means from here to here I must have 6.4. From here to here I must have 6.4. From here to here I must have 6.4. Here to here 6.4. Here to here 6.4. Here to here 6.4. Here to here 6.4. 6.4 inches. So by the time I fold this over, I'll be needing 12.8 thereabouts, because that means I need 2 of 6.4 here. So let's say times 2, that gives me 12.8. Let's just say 13 inches, because you will still need hem allowance. And for circle skirts, anything circle hem, I don't use more than, let's say 0.25 or half inch for the hem, because if you use more than that, you might not be able to control it, except you are using these foot, this roll hem foot, or what's it called, except you are using that kind of foot that will roll the hem and sew. With that, you will get accurate fold. But if you are not using that kind of foot, you don't need too much seam allowance at the hem. So that gives us start. So let's now get started. So I would measure 13 inches. 13 inches. Can you all see? I measure 13 inches from up I'll measure 13 inches from down. I'll measure 13 inches. Okay, so 13 inches, 13 inches, 13 inches. Okay, did you get that? You might need to rewind, pause, watch again. That is the advantage of online class. One of the numerous advantages, actually. You get to watch over and over till you get it. Okay, so just draw a line this way and cut. I want the camera to capture it, so watch it over and over, you know, till you get it. Like I said, that's one of the advantages of online classes. So just cut. Don't mind my cutting. Okay, so after cutting, because me, I'm using paper, I would want to have a good fold. I don't want anything to spoil my, so that means I'll be folding on 6.5, and I'll need to measure 6.5. So this is going to be my center of my fold. So I'll just fold into 2. See, this you won't waste fabric this way. You will see there's no how you waste fabric. You already calculated everything, and that alone is one major advantage for using pattern making method. So you're folding these into 4. You can see, right? So you're folding these into 4. So what's my radius again? My radius is 1.4. There's a way we calculate. This is 1.5. So, and 1 inch is like 1/8. So I can just assume that this is 1.4. Okay, this is and another thing you can do, if you have a pin here down, and that way you can move your tape around. Pin here down like so, then this becomes flexible. All right, so this is 1.4, and this is 1.4, and the reason you have to pin down is so that your starting point is uniform, because with this might make mistakes. Then you blend. Okay, you blend. Okay, then the length of the skirt, is 5 inch. You know, in your own case, you should add your own ½ inch allowance. I only added 1/8 inch allowance for the purpose of illustration. So that's what I have here. So this 1/8 inch allowance, can you see? So you just measure what you have from up. This is 6.5. Can you see? You know, that was what we used to calculate 6.5. The main allowance is meant to be 6.4, but I added, you know, 1/8 inch to it for my hem, which makes it 6.5. But in your own case, you might need to add up to ½ inch for the hem allowance. Okay, so just come on here, mark 6.5. Come on here, mark 6.5. Come on here, mark 6.5. Can you see that it is exactly my fabric measurement? I really don't have any excess. The only part I have excess is here, and that's because the circle. So just connect. Okay, so this is my small circle, this is my big circle. So for circle skirts, for, you know, sometimes people add allowances directly on here, but since this is pattern, just add it as labeling, that add 0.5 inch, because you need to attach band, either straight or shaped band. If you have a shaped band for your skirt, for your straight skirt, and you are still the one making a circle skirt for yourself, you can use that same shaped band pattern for straight skirt for these. It is still your waist measurement, but you might need to create if you don't have. And if you want to use a straight band, it's okay. So you will need allowance. The summary of everything I'm saying is that you will need allowance to add your bands to here. And I've already added 1/8 inch allowance, but in your own case I told you to add 1/2 inch allowance. So that's that. So just label. This is on fold sign. You might need to put it when you are transferring it on fabric so that you won't go and put it on an open side. And lest I forget, I started making my radius construction from this folded edge. This is the open edge. On this edge you have 4 pieces. On this folded edge you have 2 folds. So this is where I made my radius marking. Please don't go and do it here. Don't go and do it on this open edge, please. It has to be on the folded edge. So I will put a fold sign. I'll put the fold sign. Okay, I'll put the fold sign. I can still do it here also. It depends, so that there won't be any excuse that, oh, I didn't see that one. You don't really need to put gray line on this. This is second. It depends on the pattern and the shape and the print of the fabric you are working with. So after that is done, I will just go ahead and cut. And you see, there was no excess at all. We used our exact calculation. So watch over and over till you get it. So this gives me my circle skirt. You might need to notch your, let's say you want this part to be your center front, center back, or let's say you want here to be it, whichever way. I prefer this corner. So by the time you open this up, can you see? Is the camera capturing everything? Yeah. So this is what I have. This is my circle, full circle skirt. So I might need to just, let's just confirm the waist. Let me just open it up to be easier to measure. So, you put zipper. So just decide which part you want the zipper to lay and open up. After opening up, you can then measure what you have on the waist. This should give me something like 10. Sorry, let me start again. Once you measure half, you can just multiply that half. So this is 5. Multiply by 2, I have 10. And we started from 8. The radius, the waist is 8. So that means I have extra 2 inches. Can you see what I said? And we added just 1/2 inch extra, and we arrived at extra 2 inches. So if you had added more than half, the excess will be too much. So even if you want to do 0.75 on both sides for seam allowance, so that means you still have like 1/2 inch to ease into the waist. If you are doing 1/2 inch for zipper allowance, that means you would have 1 inch to ease into the waist. And that's that about full circle. So I will rush up the remaining because it's just similar explanation.